dirt respond? Quote, I think it's unconscionable just on a human level that folks were shown mercy, and this is what some of them have done. Shocker. I went to the thugs for comment, but they were deeply hurt that the mayor found their actions unconscionable and swore that from now on they'll never mug again. If the mayor lets them out, gives them tickets to the next Mets game and a hug. De Blasio will address the offer after he hits the gym across town. Kidding, I think. I normally avoid ad hominem attacks, but de Blasio's not an actual hominem. He's a walking stack of stupid, like Jenga with feet. He's literally the biggest joke in American politics. It sucks that in a nation of adults, we're ruled by idiot children who choose to ignore the links between actions and consequences. Remember, as Corona spread, he implored people to lead normal lives. And now his own actions spread crime like a virus. And let's not forget this clown's advice. For citizens who see others failing to social distance, think on them.
When you see a crowd, when you see a line that's not distanced, when you see a supermarket that's too crowded, anything, you can report it right away so we can get help there to fix the problem. And now it's as simple as taking a photo. All you got to do is take the photo and put the location with it, and bang, send a photo like this, and we will make sure that enforcement comes right away.
Wow. He loves his Stasi. So first he tells people to ignore the virus, then he sets loose thugs on the city, then he asks fellow citizens to turn into narcs. What a creep. Someone should take a picture of him and hang it at every post office. The #1 most unwanted mayor. Or toss it in the bottom of a urinal and flatter him. I'd say lock him up, but then he'd only release himself to a parade that he arranged, only to reoffend at a later date. All right, Juan, this is a city. I think I know the problem here. This is a city in which the politicians don't have a healthy opposition. So the weaker, incompetent candidates can stretch the limits of their own failures because there's no like normal moderates, Democrats, left. I don't know.
Well, you got a point. I don't like any city that lacks that kind of political tension. And a lot of the big cities are now in a situation where you have Democrats who just rule. And I think you've got to have some kind of challenge. I mean, it's interesting. In New York, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, now has a more conservative Democrat willing to run against her. We'll see how that plays out, Greg.
Yes.
But to your point, I mean, I think it's a real problem for us as an American people ruled by a constitution that says no cruel and unusual punishment. What do we do with people who are in prisons, which oftentimes can become, petri dishes for the spread of disease? So you don't want to say, hey, you're condemned and you have to stay there, especially if you're not charged with a violent crime. But then what happens when they get out and do commit another crime? Because people are going to say, hey, you let that guy back out on the street, you doofus, you. But from my perspective, I think, look, New York's crime rate has not gone up. It's gone down since we've gone into sheltering to protect ourselves against the virus. In fact, this is a global reality. The crime has gone down, and I think you have to keep that in mind.
Okay. So there is a solution, Jesse. Do you remember Sheriff Arpaio built those tents? Like you can, instead of saying, hey, let them go, why can't you build a temporary place? I mean, it's been done.
Yeah, didn't he make him wear like pink underwear? That was Arpaio at his best. I remember that guy. I mean, come on. Criminals commit crimes. What a shocking revelation, Mayor. Soon he's going to find out that babies cry and women are jealous and fat people like to eat. I mean, is this guy's his first day on planet Earth? He's like the parents that leave his teenage son alone in the house for the weekend, come back and can't believe he threw a party. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Could you believe that? I mean, listen, if I was the mayor and there was a COVID outbreak in the prison, would I release everybody from the prison? No. They're sheltering in place. I would keep them there. I would treat them, and I would test and treat the guards. It's not that crazy. The other thing is, too, the narking thing. You call it a fink. It's a narc. This guy said don't go to gyms and work out during this pandemic. The next day, he was photographed at the gym working out. You know what his excuse was? Well, I'm the mayor. I have to stay in shape and be healthy to guide the city. But he hasn't guided a thing. The governor totally eclipsed him.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything you said, but I will say men can also get jealous, and skinny people like to eat too.
More jealous. More jealous. I'm like the most jealous person
Supreme
ever.
in men, Jesse.
I'm
FYI.
trying. Oh my God. I am the most insecure person.
Hey, Greg, you saved him. I think Greg saved you, Jesse. He's holding your hand.
Yeah, I was getting ready to
I'm
go.
trying to
I
hold
was
his
getting
hand.
ready to go.
I couldn't
Lucky.
reach. Hey,
Yes.
Doc,
Listen, I don't make ad hominem attacks, though. I'm
That is
like
true.
Greg. I don't make ad hominem attacks.
you just make blanket statements. Hey, Doc. Doc, the mayor wants to have a parade, which I know that it's a noble thought for responders and hospital staff after this, but is it really wise to have a large, massive event once you reopen the city?
You just have to look at what happened with St. Louis and Philadelphia when they decided to do a parade after 1918, the Spanish flu. Philadelphia said they were going to do it. St. Louis said not. Philadelphia had a massive spike in cases again, and a lot of deaths occurred. But in terms of the prison population and people being reoffenders, I mean, the 2018 Bureau of Justice Statistics actually said that about 68% of people released from prisons will get put back in within 3 years for committing a new crime. So it's not even like we flipped a coin whether or not people were going to commit crimes again.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with Jesse. They need to be much smarter about this, and they just were not.
You know, Dana, I think that de Blasio's success is based on all the work that was done before him with Bloomberg and Giuliani. It's like they gave him an expense account of a healthy city, and he's just spending it everywhere. He's got so much to work with.
He's that guy on in a bike race that just tucks in behind the leader and coasts right through. He's probably one of the only, I haven't seen the numbers, but most mayors and governors' approval ratings have gone way up across the board. But I think that he's probably the nation's worst mayor.
Yes.
I think it's fair to say that. I don't know if that's a blanket statement or an ad hominem attack. I just think it's a fact.
Yes. You know, when Dana, the nicest person on earth, says you're the worst mayor in the United States, it's probably true because she doesn't ever say stuff like that. Okay. Coming up, the Biden VP sweepstakes. Joe drops another hint. But is he being serious? That's next.